One of my favorite weapon mods in Doom is remote detonation for the rocket launcher. In Doom 2016, remote detonation was broken. Not as broken as siege mode on the Gauss cannon, but close. And if you're only familiar with Doom Eternal, remote detonation functions similarly in both games, but it was much more powerful in 2016, both because of the rocket launcher's own strengths and because of the way the game is designed. The rockets themselves were faster, but the damage was a little lower, I believe, and remote detonation's upgrades allowed for a bigger explosion and damage over time shrapnel, compared to Eternal's upgrades of concussive blast that staggers enemies and proximity flare that causes secondary explosions. The 2016 demons weren't nearly as aggressive and smart as they are in Eternal. There were a lot of instances where you could just walk back and circle strafe around the room, and the enemies would rarely be able to cut you off. Remote detonation was excellent for this playstyle. It was pretty easy to just jump back all the time and explode rockets over everyone's heads. Doom 2016 also gave you more ammo than you'd ever need, up to 35 rockets. More rockets were always found in combat rooms, and of course there was chainsaw if you needed it. But the crazy part is the mastery. The mastered rocket launcher let the rocket continue forward after detonation, so not only do you get a huge manual explosion, but you get a second explosion after it from the rocket's impact. You could detonate the rocket right in someone's face, and then that same ugly face gets smacked with the rocket. The damage was unreal. This is a Hell Knight, decimated. A Baron of Hell, humiliated. Here's one of the big late game fights, and I'm just gonna blow up everyone. The power of this weapon and playstyle is a good example of why Eternal made the changes it did. The rocket launcher does more damage, but it's slower and holds half the ammo. The double explosion mastery has been replaced, but the weapon is still very good. With the increased mobility in the game, you can still incorporate jump back rocket into your play. Sometimes if I'm on an elevated level of a room and there's a lot of enemies, I'll trigger the flame belch and drop down, firing rockets into the air to use the splash damage, showering myself in armor as a result. Remote detonation is fantastic for taking out pinkies at long range. A rocket to their side will damage their back and slow them down. A rocket can fly over a carcass shield for the stagger, followed by a meat hook or a ballista. There are a lot of fun ways to use the remote detonation in Doom Eternal. It just doesn't break the entire game like it used to. Thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, I'll be back with more videos soon.